You see this tweet slipped out to Banyan K Golf. By the way, that's his 300th design for a practice round with his 15-year-old grandson. The PNC grandfather and son in the Nicklaus's case is next week. We're looking forward to that very much. And a member of his design company will join us next on this Championship Sunday on Morning Drive. It is 43 minutes past the hour on this Sunday as we put a bow on Design Week. And it's been really fun and enjoyable to have all these contributors across the golf industry joining us. And when you take a look at some of the work of Jack Nicklaus, incredibly prolific, but also some of these golf courses on this list notably have held very important tournaments. Of course, Muirfield Village hosting one of the premier events on the PGA Tour annually, the Memorial. Valhalla, obviously, a major championship. Shoal Creek as well. And Harbor Town, that's kind of where it all started, that collaboration with Pete Dye. And by the way, Jack Nicklaus was named the Designer of the Year in 2017 at the World Golf Awards. Joining us now on the Golf Advisor phone line, somebody who has been a part of Nicklaus Design for 34 years, and that is Chris Cochran. Chris, good morning.
Morning, Gary.
Let me start with the design philosophy. If you could give me kind of the mission statement of the company when it comes to Nicklaus Design, what would it be?
Jack has a couple of stories, and I think they relate very well what we try to do at Nicklaus Design. First of all, you know, when a golfer stands on the first tee for the first time on a Nicklaus golf course, we don't want them to say, you know, this looks like this golf course, this other Nicklaus course that I played, you know, last year. So we want each golf course to be unique and its own individual experience. Also, that same group, as they come off the 18th hole, we want them to enjoy it, but we don't want them to say, that was fun, where can we play tomorrow? We want them to say, wow, that was fun, what time can we get a tee time here tomorrow? So that's what we try to do from a design standpoint. Naturally, our number one goal is to meet our clients' needs. You know, they're the ones who are hiring us, and you know, they're telling us, you know, what kind of golf course they want and what the golf course is for. So it's our job to meet, you know, the client's need.
You know, Chris, 34 years working with Mr. Nicklaus. The dynamic of his involvement, does it change based on the project?
Yeah, if it's a Nicklaus signature job, I mean, Jack's very much involved. How I relate it is like writing a book. Jack is the writer, and his design associates, we're the editors. We're the ones who make sure what Jack is writing, what he wants to do with the strategy of the golf hole, how he wants the golf hole to play on the holes. It's our job to make sure it works. And if it doesn't, we bring that to his attention and we talk about it to get the hole and the golf course correct. If it is not a signature, then, you know, the design associates who work for Jack, we are the designers. We do the routings, we do the strategy, we do all the nuts and bolts.
All right, the separation between building championship golf courses and golf courses that are not necessarily designed to test the best players in the world, how do you achieve that?
You know, they could be one and the same. Again, it comes back to the client, what they want. But again, Jack has a great story where he's like, two of his favorite golf courses are Royal Melbourne and Augusta National, which both of them are very playable, fun members golf courses. But come tournament time, you speed up the greens, you tuck pins, put the tees back, grow a little bit of rough, and now you have a golf course that will test the best golfers in the world. So we think it can be one and the same. But naturally, if an owner wants specifically a tournament golf course, you know, that's going to host a championship, then you have to think about gallery movement, where TV is going to set up, concessions, that type of thing. Or if the owner wants, you know what, this is just I'm never going to host a golf tournament. We just want this to be a fun, enjoyable, playable golf course. Then, you know, that's what we work towards.
You know, Chris, Nicklaus Design has a global footprint. What are the challenges of working outside of the United States?
It just experience. You know, how many people, actually know golf. So when we first went to China in the early 90s, there were very, very few golf courses. Nobody knew golf. So you just had to have more personnel on site to handle the day-to-day operations and train them to show them, how to build a golf course. But, there's contractors. You can get bulldozers and scrapers. There's civil contractors. You just got to explain what you're doing. Like in China, it's an agricultural society, so people are used to growing things and planting things. So we were able to find labor. You just had to work with them daily to show them what you wanted. When you're in the States or in Europe, there's professional contractors where you're okay with the day-to-day stuff. They know what they're doing. You just got to be there to implement the design and make sure that that's taken care of. You don't necessarily have to worry about them interpreting a set of plans properly.
Well, last thing quickly, I always want to know this when people get into interesting work. What led you to this career?
I love golf. I love to play golf. I learned very quickly that I was not going to make a living playing golf, so I gravitated towards golf course maintenance. The summers off of high school and college, I always did golf course maintenance. I went to Iowa State. I have a turf degree from there. And upon graduation, kind of a friend knew somebody who worked for Jack in the design area. And fresh out of college, I interviewed for the job, got the job, got an entry-level position as a site coordinator, and just kind of worked my way up and been there ever since.
It's been a very good run, not only for you, but obviously the company itself, as I mentioned, as prolific as any design company anywhere in the world. Chris, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.